Hello and welcome to my channel, The Blessed Physicist. In the previous video, we have studied the generalized displacement, generalized velocity, generalized acceleration and generalized momentum. In this video, we will talk about generalized force. We know when force is applied on a system and it displaces the system through displacement del Ri, the work is done on the system, and the expression for work is given by del W is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n Fi del Ri. Now we know that del Ri is equal to curly Ri by curly Qj del Qj plus curly Ri by curly T del T. Okay, and we know that we are keeping time t fixed, so there is no variation in time, so we are left with curly Ri by curly Qj del Qj. So we have substituted the value of del Ri in this equation. Okay, so del W is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n Fi, summation J is equal to 1 to 3n curly Ri by curly Qj del Qj. Now what we are going to do this, we are going to put this as equal to Qj. Okay, so del W is equal to summation J is equal to 1 to n Qj del Qj. Now what is Qj? Qj is our generalized force given by Qj is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n Fi curly Ri by curly Qj. Okay, now to obtain force in terms of plane polar coordinates, what we are going to do is we are going to write force in component form, which is F is equal to Fr r cap plus F theta theta cap, where r and theta are unit vectors and r vector is given by magnitude of r into r cap. This is obvious for almost all of the people, I think, if you are reading this then. Okay, so we know that Qj is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n Fi curly Ri by curly Qj. Okay, we will write it here. Qj is equal to Fi curly Ri by curly Qj. Okay, when we take J is equal to R, what we get is Qr is equal to F dot, okay, here's a dot. Okay, F dot curly Ri, that means curly R by curly R. Qj is R. Okay, so we will write F as the component form. In the component form, Fr r cap plus F theta theta cap dot curly R by curly R into R cap. We have used this expression here. Now when we take dot product, we will multiply Fr into curly R by curly R. That's it. Theta cap is not here in this term. Okay, so what we get is Fr. Now when we take q theta is F dot curly R by curly theta. We will write F in the component form, Fr r cap plus F theta theta cap dot R curly R cap by curly theta. We have used this expression again here. Okay, now what is curly R cap by curly theta? Let's see it here. We know that R is equal to I cos theta plus J sin theta, and theta cap is minus I sin theta plus J cos theta. Okay, when we differentiate curly R cap by curly theta, what we get is we will differentiate minus I sin theta plus J cos theta. And what is this? Isn't it theta cap? So curly R cap by curly theta is actually theta cap. So what we get is Q theta is equal to R F theta. Now QR is the component of force in the R direction and Q theta is the torque acting on the particle to increase theta. Now let's come back to our expression of del W. Del W is equal to summation J is equal to 1 to n Qj del Qj. Now del Qj can have any dimension and Qj can have any dimension, but the product of Qj and del Qj have to have necessarily the dimension of work. Okay, suppose my displacement has dimension of linear displacement and qj has dimension of force. So the product of these two have the dimension of work. Suppose my generalized displacement is angle, so qj has to have the dimension of torque, so that the product of these two becomes the dimension of work. Similarly here, qr and q theta. qr has the dimension of force, q theta has the dimension of torque, but the product, that is r into qr and theta into q theta, has to have the dimension of work. Okay, so we are done with generalized force, and in next video we will study generalized potential.